Good evening, sports fans. Happy Labor Day to all. It's May 1st. We've got the Minnesota Timberwolves knocking out the Los Angeles Lakers to move on to the second round of the NBA playoffs. Plus, Dyson Daniels of the Atlanta Hawks winning Most Improved Player of the Year.
And a South Korean rider rules the Tour of Luzon after eight grueling stages. Joo Dae-young takes the top spot in the overall standings.
As they say in Korea, Aja, fighting. I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Litton-Calao.
And here's tonight's play-by-play.
On the left side. Oh, look out! Stuck in another one. Bakunas rejecting Esteban for the
Well, for the second straight year, the Minnesota Timberwolves take down another one of the so-called OGs of the NBA. This time, the Wolves officially eliminate the LA Lakers, winning their best-of-7 first-round series 4-1. Many wrapped up the series with a Game 5 victory, 103-96 in LA. Nonetheless, that's despite being ice cold from beyond the arc. The Wolves hit just 7 out of their 47 attempts from deep, including 17 straight misses between the middle of the second quarter and Mike Conley's dagger 3 there with a minute and 22 left to play. Still, the Lakers played catch-up for most of the game, but eventually couldn't outpace the Wolves. LA decided to go small here without a big, starting Dorian Finney-Smith in place of center Jackson Hayes, who ended up riding the bench all game. And Rudy Gobert looking like Shaquille O'Neal out there, taking full advantage. The Stifle Power finishing with career highs of 27 points, 24 rebounds, which is also a playoff franchise record. This is the second straight year that the Lakers were set backing after just 5 games in the first round. Here's Gobert talking about the team's ups and downs, and Wolves head coach Chris Finch speaking on the Frenchman's aggressiveness.
Feels great. Feels great. You know, we had a season with a lot of ups and downs, and to come here and play the way we did tonight means a lot. I think we just have a bunch of guys that want to win, and a lot of guys that have been through a lot of adversity throughout their career, throughout their lives, and you know, we love each other. You know, we understand that one night it might be Naz, one night it might be me, Julius, but we just want to win, and you know, all the things we went through throughout the season just prepared us for this moment. I mean, he made the right play almost all night, you know, looking for his teammates, and shots, we don't really care. We care about him making the right play and playing defense, and he did those 2 things tonight. And when he does that, we win the game.
We knew we had to have it at some point in this series, and he was awesome tonight, just shedding defenders, you know, 9 offensive rebounds, super active on defense, finished extremely well when he had opportunity, and you know, they became a little more aggressive on the ball in this game, and that released Rudy's roles, which we haven't really been able to capitalize on all series, but you know, we just trusted the right play, and I thought our guys were really good in finding him in those moments. So I just told the guys, you know, we didn't shoot the ball well, but I thought we were the tougher team, mentally and physically, and that's when it showed itself. You know, we were able to withstand the run. I told them at the quarter, I said, hey, listen, after all that, we're still up 1, let's go in.
After another first-round exit, LeBron James is taking his time to decide on his future in the NBA. The 40-year-old superstar didn't have much to say about what lies ahead after losing Game 5 to the Wolves. LeBron said he'll have to sit down with his family and support group before arriving to a decision. The King will also do some self-reflection on how much longer he wants to continue playing. While there's no disputing that James is at the tail end of his illustrious career, he clearly still has a lot left in the tank. In year 22, the league's all-time leading scorer averaged 24 points, close to 8 rebounds and 8 assists. Contract-wise, the 4-time MVP has a year left on his 2-year deal with the Lakers. But he has a player option, which means he has all the power to decide whether he'll stay. If LeBron does return for one more year, he'd have the record for most seasons played in NBA history at 23.
Now let's take a look at the updated bracket of the NBA playoffs. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the second team from the West to move on to the second round. They joined the top-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference semis. The Wolves now await the winner between the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. The Dubs currently ahead in that series 3-2.
The aforementioned Golden State Warriors missed out on a chance to advance today. That's after the Houston Rockets took Game 5 of their series in dominant fashion. The final score, 131-116 in favor of H-Town. The Rockets came out swinging at home and built a whopping 76-49 advantage by halftime. With Houston still humming in the third, Golden State head coach Steve Kerr threw in the towel and pulled out his starters midway through the quarter. Rockets head coach Ime Udoka followed suit, clearing his bench with about a minute to go heading into the payoff period. Fred VanVleet and Aman Thompson led the way for Houston with 26 and 25 points respectively. Tensions did flare in the fourth quarter. A scuffle broke out involving Warriors guard Pat Spencer, Rockets swingman Dylan Brooks, and big man Alperen Sengun. Spencer was eventually ejected for headbutting Sengun. Game 6 of this heated matchup heads back to the Bay this Saturday, 9 a.m. Philippine time. Here's VanVleet sharing how his squad put the Warriors to bed as early as the third quarter.
All right, guys, here with Steady Freddy. Take us through the last 24 hours, that flight back from San Francisco, how you guys are locked in and playing so well tonight.
Just staying composed, understanding we got to get one, play well enough to win, but just lost it there in the last couple of minutes. So we've been feeling good about our play, wanting to come home and respond.
How have you been able to be the voice of these young guys to keep them focused when you go back on the road?
Just one game at a time, try to limit distractions as much as possible. It's a lot of our first time here, so it's been a roller coaster up and down, but just staying focused to the details, locking into the game plan.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Well, the Warriors may have let a golden opportunity slip by with their crushing Game 5 loss against the Rockets. Had Golden State eliminated H-Town in 5, they would have gotten extra days of rest before heading into round 2 against the Wolves. That would have been especially beneficial to the banged-up Warriors. Jimmy Butler is coming off a pelvis injury. Steph Curry is also dealing with a nagging thumb issue. Golden State coach Steve Kerr broke down his team's poor performance today and what they can do to recover.
I didn't have them ready to play. Clearly, we committed 3 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game, and I think they were 13 for 13 from the line after the first quarter. So we can't come out with that lack of defensive focus and energy and expect to beat a great team on their own floor in a closeout game. So they took it to us. They were awesome tonight, and we got to be better. Our guys have been here many times. Jimmy's been here many times. I think a couple of years ago, Jimmy was part of that Miami team that was up 3-0 against Boston, lost the next 3, and then had to win on the road in Game 7. This is what the playoffs are about. I mean, it's just incredibly competitive. Everybody who is playing now, who's still alive, has great basketball players and great coaches. And, I've said it throughout the series, Houston's a great team. Ime's a great coach, 52 wins, the 2 seed, athletic, they got all these lottery picks. So they're a hell of a team. And this is the playoffs, it's just as much a mental test, an emotional test as it is a physical test, as a skill test. It's what makes it fun. It's what makes it challenging. It's what keeps you up at night. But this is what we do, and we love it.
Coming up, a bright spot to the Atlanta Hawks season as defensive stalwart Dyson Daniels wins Most Improved Player. That story and a lot more coming your way when Play-by-Play returns. Welcome back to Play-by-Play only here on One News. Dyson Daniels of the Atlanta Hawks is the NBA's most improved player this season. The 22-year-old guard collected a total of 332 points, 100 plus more than second placer Ivica Zubac. In his third season, the great barrier thief averaged 14.1 points, 5.9 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 3 steals. Daniels also shot career highs of 49.3% from the field and 34% from deep. Dyson Daniels leads the league in total steals with 229, the most since Gary Payton during the 1996 season. This put him as one of the finalists for the Defensive Player of the Year, ending up as a runner-up. Daniels is the second Hawk to win the Most Improved Player award, following Allen Henderson way back in 1998.
Even without the injured Damian Lillard, the Milwaukee Bucks were on the verge of dragging the Indiana Pacers to a Game 6. Instead, they dropped the ball in the dying seconds of overtime and got bounced out of the postseason. The Bucks were up 7 with 40 seconds left to play in Game 5. Moments later, they lost by 1 point, 119 to 118. Milwaukee head coach Doc Rivers was fully aware of his team's mistakes. The veteran tactician says their failure to execute down the stretch was caused by careless turnovers. Overall, they finished the game with 17 errors. The Bucks also had a short player rotation. Rivers admitted that he played his 5 most trusted guys heavy minutes and they were visibly exhausted.
I mean, we just turned the ball over, so it's not a lot to be said. Having said that, 2 of them was the guy that saved us. So, you know, I mean, GT was freaking amazing tonight for us. And but I thought the turnovers obviously were huge, and 2 of the 3 were really unforced. But I thought we had 2 huge defensive mistakes that we didn't make. We came out of the timeout with a foul to give. We're supposed to use it, didn't use it. Those are the things that just kill you. And that, I think that ended up in a Halliburton 3-point play on that one. So, you know, these games, they'll kill you. They really will. Execution down the stretch is something that you must have, and we have to own that. You know, we failed in that department tonight. But give them credit. You know, they hung in there. I thought the biggest play of the game was a defensive mistake, but it was Nembhard's 3. I thought that was the single biggest play because that gave them hope again, and that was a defensive mistake there too. So, man, it's tough though because I thought my guys fought their butts off. We played heavy minutes with the 5 guys, and they were exhausted. They really were. But both teams were, and they're the last team standing.
The Boston Celtics simply outclassed the Orlando Magic in their first-round series. But for Orlando head coach Jamal Mosley, a big factor in his team's elimination had nothing to do with the defending champs. The Magic notched just 1 win over the Mighty Seas, taking Game 3 of their best-of-7 series. In their next 2 meetings, Boston was able to impose its will over a talented but less experienced Orlando squad. Come the series clinching Game 5, the Magic pinned their hopes on their 2 young studs, Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. The 2 combined for 44 points on just 16 of 37 shooting, with each committing 5 personal fouls. Coach Mose strongly believes that those foul calls, especially on Banchero, were game changers, detrimental to the Magic.
Well, it definitely swung the series. It definitely swung the game. I have no idea what the explanation was. He came into his path. All I saw was Paolo getting an elbow to the face or backed into the face, and he got to the foul. And that was a game changer right there. Your best player picks up his 5th foul in the 3rd quarter. It becomes tough to come back from that moment, but our guys, you know, continued to fight. We missed a ton of shots. They did a hell of a job getting down on the break and hitting some big shots in that situation. What I saw was the fact that he was driving to the basket and not getting calls. And in those moments, there's a level of frustration that can kick in when they're impeding your progress to the rim. And so they give him one charge, and then they give another one where he's a touch foul. Again, and then at the same time he goes to the rim, they're bodying him out of the way, and there's no call. And again, they see it, we see it, but it doesn't get hit. And then he picks up his 5th foul on what could have possibly been an offensive foul. I don't know. That's where it becomes a little bit frustrating because I don't understand what we're calling in that moment.
Here at home, a crazy 48-hour stretch for Barangay Ginebra San Miguel's Jason David. After being activated by the Gin Kings on Tuesday to fill in for LA Tenorio, David made the most of his opportunity last night. The 6'3" guard led Ginebra to a 131-106 rout of the Northport Batang here in the PBA Philippine Cup. David exploded for 25 points on a near-perfect 8 of 9 shooting. He also had 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals in just over 21 minutes of play. After the game, Coach Tim Cohn had nothing but praise for his young gun, who he had been wanting to find minutes in a stacked Ginebra roster.
Jason's paid the price. I mean, he has done everything that he needed to do. He's a guy that comes to work really every day. And so when LA had to take a break coaching with the junior national team, Junior Gilas, they opened up an avenue for Jason. But this is something we've been wanting to do for quite a while, get Jason into the lineup. It's just been a difficult thing with a talented team like Ginebra. So, you know, he paid his dues, and he played today like he plays in practice. It wasn't anything actually special. Sorry to say, it wasn't anything special. He does that in practice every day.
Well, Friday Night Hoops coming your way in the PBA Philippine Cup tomorrow at 5 p.m. The NLEX Road Warriors look to keep momentum against the recharged Blackwater Bossing. Now both teams are coming off huge wins in their previous outings. Then in the main game at 7:30 p.m., as you can see, the Phoenix Fuel Masters face a tough test when they take on the TNT Tropang 5G. The Grand Slam-seeking TNT are still looking for their first victory in this conference. You can catch all the action live on PBA Rush, on RPTV, and streaming on the Pilipinas Live app. Coming up here on Play-by-Play player movements in the offseason of the PBL, we tell you about 3 volleyball stars and their new teams. That and more when we return. Stay tuned to Play-by-Play.
Welcome back. You're watching Play by Play on One News. It's official. Tin Tiamzon is making her PVL comeback with the Signal HD Spikers. The 27-year-old open spiker is returning to pro volleyball after nearly 2 years away. Tiamzon last played in 2022 before moving to Canada with her family. The former LaSalle standout adds depth to Signal's wing lineup, joining Vanny Gandler, Ishi Lalong Isip, and Judith Abil. The HD Spikers look to bounce back after a quarterfinal exit in the All-Filipino Conference. The next-led Chameleons are ramping up their off-season rebuild. The Chameleons have added opposite hitter Jovelyn Fernandez and libero Janelle Delerio to their roster. Fernandez is set to take on a bigger role after seeing limited action with the Signal HD Spikers. The former FEU Lady Tamara was the best opposite hitter in UAAP Season 85. As for Delerio, she brings her defensive prowess to Next-Led after her stint with the Farm Fresh Foxies. Next-Led finished in 12th place during the All-Filipino Conference.
It's going to be a good one. Well, NBA lineup for you tonight. And tonight's highlight reel, Labor Day holiday, May 1st. Let's roll it. Let's start with the Lakers and the Wolves in LA. Doncic to LeBron, parting the Red Sea. Take a look at LeBron at 40, just going through Ant-Man, going through Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and still jamming it home with two hands for good measure. But they were still trailing at that point. The King had 22.7 rebounds, 6 assists on this one. That hurts for the King. More from that game, but this time, how about from Rudy Gobert, looking like a really dominant bigger like Shaq. No bigs, so he takes advantage. Take a look at Gobert, like Bill Russell, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Will Chamberlain. Name all those bigs. Shaq, look at Gobert. Yes, you're 7'1", 7'2", big man. Just stuff it in. Stifle Tower had a monster game here, just dominant in this one. 27 points, 24 big rebounds, including 9 on the offensive glass. 9. Lakers need a big badly. Now more from the Wolves. This side, Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. Take a look at Ant-Man there, and then finding the 18-year vet, 37-year-old Mike Conley, old reliable, still in the league and still serviceable because of that. Coming up clutch from the corner, nailing the three. Dagger up 6, a minute 23 here to close out the Lakers in their home floor. Conley had 8, but those threes are the biggest ones. Many eventually holding off the Lakers 103-96 at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. The Wolves eliminate Luka, LeBron, and the Lakers in 5. So Wolves in 5, not Lakers in 5. Sorry, Shannon. Okay, let's roll the last one. Rockets, Warriors. Everybody say, amen. Guarding Steph Curry. Oh, look at that athleticism. Stealing the ball, chased down by Butler to no avail, fouled, the slam. This kid is fun to watch. That's why the Rocket faithful loving the 22-year-old Amen Thompson. Look at that. Going all the way for the slam. Butler, yes, Jimmy Buckets cannot catch up with a 22-year-old athletic forward for the Rockets. Future looks bright for Amen and H-Town. Thompson, by the way, finishing with 25 big points, 5 steals, 3 blocks. Oh, that's not the last play. Here's the last play. Finally, same game, but this time, punta naman natin yung ating kababayan, Jalen Green. Going baseline, woo! Going through Draymond Green and getting a foul from Steph Curry. Fancy there for Jalen Green, using the left, heading to the line, and a bonus. JG chipping in, just 11 points in this one. But the Rockets crushed the Warriors in Game 5, 131-116. Houston again surviving the Golden State Warriors, although the Dubs still lead the series 3-2, and they will go back to the Bay. Game 6 tips off Saturday in San Francisco at 9 a.m. Philippine time. Just that.
Amen. And before we go, we want to congratulate Joo Dae-young of South Korea's Gapyeong cycling team for winning the Tour of Luzon. The Korean rider clocked in a total time of 22 hours, 21 minutes, and 8 seconds to rule the 8-stage race. Ju held on in the final stretch from Lingayen to Baguio City, completing the stage in 4 hours, 21 minutes, and 31 seconds. This was just enough to edge out Standard Insurance's Jan Paul Morales by just 6 seconds in the general classification. Morales finished second overall at 22 hours, 21 minutes, and 14 seconds. While Jonel Carcueva of MPT Drive Hub rounded out the podium with 22 hours and 22 minutes, Ju will take home 1 million pesos for his first place finish. Joshua Pascual of Excellent Noodles conquered the final stage. He posted 4 hours, 16 minutes, and 14 seconds in the punishing climb to Baguio, claiming the Eagle of the Mountain Honor.
Chugayo to Ju Dae-yong of South Korea. That means congratulations.
Yes.
In his native language. So congratulations once again, and to all
Every single person
participant, yes,
who
of the
joined
Tour of
that,
Luzon.
because in this heat,
Yeah.
in this weather, and
Uphill, going to Baguio?
to Baguio, and everyone also,
Galing.
Nick, the coverage team also
Oh, naman, lahat.
following all those riders.
Yes.
Great job to everyone. Congratulations to all the participants, and happy Labor Day.
Akala ko sasabihin mo next year sasali tayo eh.
No thanks. Hindi ko kaya.
Baka si Odi pa eh, FD natin. Odi sa'yo kami. That's all from us tonight. Labor Day, May 1st. You can catch us again tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. for a play-by-play of today's top sports stories.
Play-by-play is on One News. That's Signal TV Channel 8 on SD and Channel 250 on HD. We are also available on Signal Play and Pilipinas Live.
I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Liton Calao. Thank you for watching. Good night.